Hi, in this video we are going to learn how can we form ion. First of all, what's the meaning of the word ion? Basically, ions are charged elements. For example here, if we have hydrogen and we have hydrogen plus 1. So what is the difference between them? The first element here is hydrogen. Do we have any charge? No. So if we don't have any charge, so this is called element. But what if we have a charge above the element? At this case, it will be called what? It will be called ion. So our lesson today, how can we reach the ion starting from the elements? We have two types of ion. We have cation and anion. What is the difference between the cations and the anions? First of all, the cations are positive ions like sodium and magnesium. Sodium has +1, magnesium has +2. So the charge here is positive, so it's considered as cation. So what about the anions? All the anions have negative charge, so that's why we have a negative charge here above the chloride and above the oxide. How can we form simple ion from any element? Let's find together. Before we know how can we form the simple ion, we must know these two rules. The first rule here, if we have 1 to 3 valence electrons for the element, so the element will lose these valence electrons. After losing them, the element will become positive, so it will be called cation. So what if we have from 5 to 7 valence electrons? The element will gain to reach 8 electrons. So if it has 5, it needs 3 more, so it will gain 3 electrons. If it has 6, so it will gain 2 more electrons. If it has 7, so it will gain 1 more electron. So if it gains electron, it will become negative, and in this case it will be called anion. So let's find together how can we form simple ion from the following elements. First element here is sodium 11. So the first step to find the ion, we should do the electron configuration as we learned on the previous video. The electron configuration here will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, then 3s1. Now we should count the valence electrons as we also learned before. So how can we count the valence electrons? Basically we should count the highest energy level here. The highest number is 3. 3 contains how many electrons? It contains only 1. So we have 1 valence electron. So as we said, from 1 to 3 we are going to lose to be positive, which is cation. So we have 1 valence electron, we are going to lose this valence electron, so the sodium will become Na positive 1, because the electrons are less than the protons by 1. So that's why the sodium will become positive 1. So let's try to do the same thing for the magnesium 12. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. How many valence electrons we have here? Let's count together. 1, 2, 3. The highest number here is 3. 3 contains only 2 valence electrons. So we have 2 VE, 2 valence electrons. As we said, from 1 to 3 we are going to lose. So we will lose 2 electrons. So the ion here will be Mg plus 2. Let's find together how can we form anions. So now we are going to learn how can we form anions. So let's start with the first anion, which is chlorine. So the simple element here is chlorine. It contains 17 electrons. So let's do the electron configuration together. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, and then 3p5. So if we count them, 2 plus 2, 4 plus 6, 10, plus 2, 12, plus 5, 17. How can we count the valence electrons? As we said, from the highest energy level here, we have 3s and 3p. If we have two same numbers, we will add the electrons above each of them. So 2 plus 5 equal 7 valence electrons. As we said, from 5 to 7, we need to gain to reach 8. So from 7 to 8, we need to gain how much? From 7 to 8, we need to gain 1 electron. So if we need to gain 1 electron, that means the Cl will become -1. As we said, the anions must be negative. So at this case, it will be called chloride. So let's try to apply the same thing for the oxygen 8. The electron configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2b6, 2b6 or 2b4, so it's 2b4. So now we have how many valence electrons? Let's count together. 2s and 2b are the same, the highest numbers. It contains 2 and 4, so 2 plus 4 equal 6 valence electrons. As we said, from 5 to 7, it will gain to reach 8. So if we have 6, we need to gain 2 more. So at this case, the ion will be O-2 because it gained 2 more electrons. And the electrons now will become more than the protons by 2. So it will take the charge of -2. At this case, it will be called oxide. Let's check our comprehension. Try to pause the video and try to solve these examples by your own. After pausing the video, let's try to solve them together. So the first element here is fluorine. It contains 9 electrons. So let's do the electron configuration. 1s2, 2s2, 2b5. How many valence electrons here? We have from 2s and 2b, we have 2 and 5. So 2 plus 5 equal 7 valence electrons. From 7, we need to reach 8. So we need to gain how much? We will gain only 1. So the ion here will be F-1. It will be called fluoride. So what about the next example? Calcium 20. So the electron configuration will be 1s2, 2s2, 2b6, 3s2, and then 3b6. After 3b6, we will have 4s2. How many valence electrons here? From the highest number, 4s, it contains only 2. So we have 2 valence electrons. As we said, from 1 to 3, we are going to lose. So we will lose how much? We will lose 2 to be positive. So we will have calcium +2. And this is the ion here. It will be cation or anion. Yes, it is cation. So thank you for watching the video and see you next video.